for another edition of Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television. With me, Audrey, Zatsa. Some workers of the Cameroon Development Corporation (CDC) in the southwest region have expressed dissatisfaction with their unpaid salaries and suffering for the past 27 months. According to a communique signed by a coalition of workers, they have incurred a lot for the past months, amongst which lost their marriages as their wives can no longer endure hunger, lack of education for their kids as they are incapacitated to pay school fees, lots of debts, amongst others. Celebrations to mark the 136th edition of the International Labour Day have been cancelled in the country for the third consecutive year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In a release issued on April 27, 2022 by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregoire Owona, informs actors in the labour sector the traditional parade that usually marks the day has been cancelled. This edition will be celebrated under the theme "The World of Work: The Fight Against COVID-19, Work Protection and Productivity." Minister Gregoire Owona thus invites workers to reflect and pursue social dialogue on this occasion. The consumption of roadside drugs has been increasing at an alarming rate despite a series of sensitization done by medical experts. Our reporter Mirel Ngaket sought to find out why the increase in the consumption of roadside drugs. Her report.
The consumption of roadside drugs have gained ground over the years in Cameroon, despite the numerous campaigns put in place in order to sensitize populations against the ills of buying drugs from the road. Amongst others, poverty is the main reason behind such acts, some say. I buy because it's easy and it's less costly. When I have a slight health issue, I go there. Well, I can't talk about side effects, just that the drugs do not always cure you, and at the end you are compelled to go to the hospital. While the side effects of such medication keep claiming victims, doctors are relentless on the move to mend habits.
One thing we need to know about roadside medication is that not all medications are conserved within the same temperature. Some medications are photosensitive, meaning under extreme conditions of high temperature, sunlight, active pharmaceutical molecule, which is the main component in a drug, can easily be destroyed. And when these pharmaceutical molecules are being destroyed by sunlight, a buyer consuming such drug is no more consuming it for his benefits. It's instead detrimental to him. One thing we also need to know about roadside medication is that as a result of poor methods of conservation, you see dust during the dry seasons being floated up and down, settling on the medications that might cause potential interaction and possible resistance to future use of medication.
Roadside drugs, just like auto medication, are not safe for anyone. The ideal is to consult a medical doctor.
Some women with disabilities have been given self-defense training against sexual assault perpetrated on them due to their vulnerability. This was during a workshop organized in Kumba Meme Division by the Lilian Dibo Foundation. Tamfu Sidwan completes the story.
Disabilities from various localities in Meme Division have been armed to fight against rape, which has for over the years been perpetrated against most of them due to their vulnerability.
Even if it not happen for we or for our families, if it happen for neighbors.
This was the high point of a workshop organized by the Lilian Dibo Foundation, captioned Disability Voices Against Rape, DIVA 2022. According to the CEO of Lilian Dibo Foundation, many women with disabilities are being sexually assaulted and raped, but the cases are underreported.
People have been talking about it, but the fact that women and girls with disability have been raped and nothing is being done is is a bigger concern.
The initiative was funded by Rescue Women Cameroon, another women-led organization founded by Madame Nakinti Besumbo Nuforo, aimed at fighting rape and other social ills against women and children. To this volunteer of Rewokam, the Lilian Dibo Foundation designed a project on the fight against rape after the Rescue Women Cameroon organized a 2-day workshop for rape survivors on the fight against rape in February 2022.
So Rescue Women decided to, call all survivors of rape all over Cameroon. And the last edition of its Survival Voices Against Rape was in February 2022, where we brought in 30 rape survivors from all over Cameroon, where they came to tell their stories, and we strategized on how to fight rape in their various communities. They focused on people living with disability. If you, as a person, a child in a house that is more comfortable, you have everything in your disposal, and you are still being raped, what about somebody, a person with disability?
During the Kumba workshop, the women with disabilities were trained on possible ways to get perpetrators of rape face the judiciary. Apart from just training them on techniques to fight against rape, 4 women with disabilities were also empowered by the Lilian Dibo Foundation in collaboration with Rescue Women Cameroon to start up petty businesses.
Lilian Dibo Foundation decided to empower 4 women and girls with disability with 50,000 francs each as a support for them to carry out their businesses. This is because we realize that being rape survivors, being sexually assaulted, there are trauma. You go through a lot of trauma. Is going to get them integrated and let them also know that they can fend for their families and they have a role to play with respect to supporting one another.
The beneficiaries appreciated the initiative and prayed it continues.
At the time, the Lilian Dibo Foundation for empowering me with a sum of 50,000 francs for me for both startup in my life.
Disability Voices Against Rape may just be another avenue to create a rape-free society.
As classes resume throughout the national territory in Boya Chief Town of the Southwest region, students and pupils have been called upon by their teachers to concentrate more, considering the fact that it is the shortest term and the most determining. Emanuela Moni.
Management is a measure utilized to manage waste in its entire life cycle, from generation to disposal or recovery. In Cameroon, HISACAM, a French acronym meaning hygiene and health, has been the country's #1 private waste management. Despite this, some Cameroonians are still unable to manage their waste, as this waste can be found littered everywhere on the streets. For this reason, the Yaoundé City Council Mayor, Luc Messi-Atangana, a week ago imposed fines ranging from 5,000 francs CFA. According to reports, the dumping of wastewater on the road by an adult goes with a fine of 10,000 francs. Dumping of oil and other lubricants will require the sum of 50,000 francs, while those dumping products considered toxic will be demanded the sum of 75,000 francs. According to Luc Messi-Atangana, every council has as duty to report such cases to the municipality, who in turn will take action by imposing the fine. There are multiple waste management strategies and methods available. These strategies can be combined or rearranged to form a waste management system that fits in an organization. Modern waste management strategies are geared towards sustainability. Other alternatives for waste management is to reduce, reuse, and recycle waste.
We apologize for that little mix-up. We now continue with this other story, talking about some measures that could be taken by an institution to curb juvenile delinquency and eradicate health hazards. Colette Loom tells us more.
Due to the persistent cases of health crisis, juvenile delinquency in the school milieu, it is worth noting there are a number of standards to take into account for the creation of lay private schools in Cameroon. School proprietors must have an adequate size and acquire enough land and make provision for a playing ground and recommendable staff profile. These basic necessities most often are not considered by most school proprietors, whose loan main focus is business incline and money making. Mindful of the repercussions these conditions pose on pupils, students studying in such unconducive, tight environments. Not complying with norms put in place by government is a health hazard since classrooms are not ventilated. But what are the norms prescribed by the Ministry of Basic Education before running a private school in Cameroon?
In regard of the law of 22 July 2004 and the decree for 15 December 2008 concerning the organization of the lay private schools, a person who wants to create school should have, first of all, the bachelor degree. This is the first point. And secondly, have the site more than 2,500 square meters. And there are some others documents that will complete all this to have the creation.
What program should be put in place before owning a school?
For the organization, first of all, after having their agreement to function, they should make sure that they have the good teachers. And according to the law, we need the two categories of teachers, the permanent teacher and the part-time teachers. They should pass through the regional delegation to be tested, to have the authorization to teach in respect of the program. Because here, you see, now the innovation of proprietor is to have the international school, but for we, the Cameroon, we have our official program. For those who are permanent, we should make sure that all of them have their own number in the CNPS. Concerning those who don't respect this norm, there are many sanctions. If you function without having the agreement, the first thing can be they can close the school.
It is against this backdrop that recently in Cameroon, lives of school pupils, students have been jeopardized when the norms of establishing these schools are not taken into consideration.
Since the introduction of a 0.2% tax reduction on all mobile money transactions in the country, it is still a bitter pill to swallow for some Cameroonians, most especially Yaoundé city dwellers. Colette Loom.
Over 26 million Cameroonians are yet to go down the bitter pill of a 0.2% tax on the transfer and withdrawal of money via their mobile wallets, a situation which many Cameroonian consumers find disturbing given that statistics reveal that only 1/3 of adults are estimated to have bank accounts in Cameroon, while the mobile money penetration is on the rise in the country. In Cameroon, multinational mobile telephone companies have hijacked the mobile infrastructure to offer financial services to their subscribers who are today complaining of the hike.
What is going now on the field with the two companies is that they decide to increase the price without have any approval from the government, with all the experts that are in the financial ministry that have fixed the prices.
The new tax on mobile money transaction is considered unfair by millions of Cameroonians who are venting their angers on social media platforms. Most of them say it is unfair to pay a tax to withdraw your own cash. And some of these users say it is evidence this tax can be increased from 0.2% presently to a much more amount subsequently without users noticing the increase.
Let's talk sports out of the country. The Gambian Football Federation has filed a complaint against Jamel Belmadi. In a statement published on its social networks, the federation says it filed the complaint against the Algerian coach after his controversial comments on the Gambian referee Bakary Gassama, who had officiated during the second leg of the World Cup playoffs between the Phoenix and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. The federation has officially requested FIFA and CAF to open investigations and disciplinary proceedings against the head coach of the Algerian national soccer team. That was it for today's edition, produced by Junior Pelama with the technical assistance of Mancho Robert. Thanks for watching, faithful viewers. You have details of these stories and many more on our 3:30 p.m. Prime Info with Gladys Bomotongina and our 6:30 p.m. Prime News with Fon Quinta. Coming up next is The Brief with Lasha Kingsley and Gladys Bomotongina. Have a nice time.